Welcome back to my channel. I'm astrologer Anusud, and today I'm going to talk about matchmaking in astrology and what is the criteria in which we do the matchmaking. And if you want to know more, stay tuned. In this video, I will be telling you the basics of matchmaking. What is matchmaking? Matchmaking is actually matching your horoscope, matching your life, how much you will be able to enjoy life with the person. That is called matchmaking.
So, in matchmaking, you need your date of birth, time, place, and when you match, the computer says these many points are matching. So, how to go about it?
So in matchmaking, there are 36 points, and you got to see that there should be minimum of 13 or 14 points which are matching, and there are 8 sections that are divided. And basically, there should be mental and physical compatibility. Those 2 points should be there. Otherwise, the rest of the points, if they are matching, you don't need to, because marriage, the actual fruit of marriage is children. And if you're not having children in marriage, that marriage is considered incomplete. So why we look up to a horoscope is to see the 5th house, because 5th house should be well placed, should be good. It should not have any influence of malefic planets in both the charts. And we should see the 7th house. It should not have influence of malefics in both the charts. So that's why we do matchmaking.
So, the main question when a couple asks about matchmaking is whether there will be chemistry, whether there will be love, compatibility, intimacy. Because matchmaking is not for dating, matchmaking is for people who want to go ahead and want to spend life together. At that point, you've got to do matchmaking. So, what are the 2 points that are very important in marriage which cannot be ignored? So, through matchmaking, through the help of astrology, you can seek guidance towards a healthy, beautiful relationship. And if you are going ahead for marriage, you can predict on your own also how to see compatibility as far as love is concerned in a marriage.
So basically, we see yoni and grametri. Grametri is basically your mind, how you relate, how much you're compatible, and yoni is how much intimate you can get close to each other. So these are the 2 basic points that should be there. And there are a few doshas like Nadi dosh, Bhakutosh. Now we, in India, we say that if there are 3 or 2 dosh, you should avoid getting married. That is true. And because then there are some kind of arguments and misunderstandings. So you've got to see all these things. You've got to see the 5th house, the placement of Venus, the 7th house. And only a good astrologer can tell you exactly how your married life will be before even getting married to the person. If you're in a love marriage, then I don't think so you should consult an astrologer, because there are few people who fall in love and then at the end of the day just say that we want to match the horoscope. If you actually are in love, sometimes matchmaking is not required, because you know that the person is compatible for you. You know that the person is good enough for you. And if you are going in for arranged marriage, then matchmaking is at most important, because it helps you out to see how your outlook will be. Will you be able to adjust with the person? Will you be able to have healthy children? Because having children is very important in marriage. By a matter of choice, some people don't go in for children, but I think so the fruit of marriage is children, and you must have healthy children if you are getting married. And in any case, you cannot avoid the 5th house for that. So let me just explain what are the basics of matchmaking through this chart, and you can know yourself and your life partner better. And if you are just single, you can also do your matchmaking on your own, and you can guide yourself, right? And in case you need my help, you can email at the link below and I shall get back to you. If you need my consultations regarding matchmaking, you can just email at the link below and I shall get back to you. Thank you so much for watching my video. Stay blessed, be happy. Bye-bye.
So let me simplify it. And there are 8 points in matchmaking: Varan, Vaishya, Tara, Yoni, Maitri, Gan, Bhakut, and Nari. The first one is the ego of a person, and if there is 0, that means it's a good thing. That means there will not be any ego clashes. And the second category is of Vaishya, that is dominance. the role played by who is the more dominant person in the relationship. The third is Tara, that is how far you will go with the person. Then the Yoni and Metri, these 2 points are very important. You cannot ignore them. Like the Yoni is assigned 4 points. So if there is 1 point, then it's considered no for a match. And like in Grey Metri, there are 5 points. If it's a 1, you should never go if in for such a relationship. These 2 points are more important. Let's come to the Gandosh, Bhakutosh, and Nadi dosh. These are often considered dosh because these play a very important role in your life. Gun is what kind of a person you are. There are three types divided in this category, and if there is a mismatch, then the marriage is not considered happy. Bhakut is the kind of relationship, the interest that you share with a person. And if your lifestyle, your interests don't match, then also sometimes you face some kind of problem in the marriage. Naris, because there are three types of naris, and if there is a mismatch, you might have some health problem after marriage, which is not considered good, because if you're having some kind of health problem, then you will have problem in childbirth. So if there are two doshas, then you should ask an astrologer whether it's favorable to go ahead with a marriage. That's why you consult an astrologer, because sometimes these points misguide you. So let's talk about Gandosh. Let me explain at a wider note what is Gandosh. Now, there are three types of categories. One is Rakshas. Now, you're not a demon, but yes, there is such categories, Manushya and Devta. So you can just see in your horoscope whether you're a Rakshas, Manushya, or Devta. But in matchmaking, these things are considered very. A Rakshas cannot marry a Devta. At that point, there will be difference in the compatibility. A Manushya can marry a Devta, Manushya can also marry a Rakshas. But the vice versa, Rakshas cannot marry a Devta. But yes, a Rakshas gun person can marry a Manushya person. So these are the things. If there is a dosh, you must know what it means. The second kind of dosh is Nari dosh. Such things, they are considered unfavorable because the health goes down, because there are three types of nadis, and if the nadi is same of the husband and the wife, then there's kind of a problem in children, and there will be some delay in children. So that's why we always match a horoscope, because sometimes you want that your kids must be happy after marriage. There should not be any delay in the childbirth. So that's why Nadi dosh is considered very important. And sometimes, if you want to ignore, you sometimes ignore if the other things in the horoscope, they are well balanced. The third type of dosh is considered the most dreaded dosh, that is the Bhakutosh. Now, what it is? It's the relation of moon from the moon of the person. It's the distance of the moon from the moon of the other person, because moon is the mind, and only with the mind you connect. So, if the difference between where the moon is placed of a girl and where the moon is placed of the boy, the difference is 212, then it's not considered lucky. If it's 5-9, then sometimes the marriages work, but there is some kind of losses. And 6-8 is considered a big no no. If there is a 6-8 difference between the moon of the girl and the boy, then this situation is considered problematic. So, a 212 ratio between moon of the girl and the moon of the boy leads to an extramarital affair. If there is a 6-8 relationship, that is not good for marriage, and sometimes such marriages, they end up in divorce, sometimes in bad situations, also in suicides. And this is not a good combination. If you have Nari dosh, Bhagut kosh, and a 6-8 relation, don't go ahead with the marriage. And if there is a 5-9 relation, that means sometimes if you find the match is good, you can go ahead. But yes, sometimes the fortune of the person comes down. So these three doshas are, if present, if there is a 212 or a 6-8 relation between the moon, then never go ahead with the marriage, and consult a good astrologer. If in any situation, you have to proceed with the marriage.